Hi everyone. So it's the end of our first night at Blood and Fire. It's been manic, to say the least. So we arrived on site, had a great warm welcome when we got here. Quickly realised that we haven't been to this site before. When we saw the pictures of it, I got the impression that we had been here. I was wrong.
Yeah, it looked very similar to a previous location we've been to.
So we drove around out the side of the front trying to figure out if we were at the right place or not. But anyway, we arrived, warm welcome, and then we went up there is at this venue a lot of stairs. Went up all the stairs, got all our gear sorted out, went back down, had a chill out, met a load of people that have just arrived, and then got ourselves in the costume, went downstairs, had a bit of grub. We got some pictures of that and some video of that. Tried to beat the grub in our masks. Well, I did. You took yours off.
Yeah.
And then we got into the game itself. Now, start of the game was fantastic. They gave us an opportunity for everybody to kind of mingle, get to know everybody else's, who's who and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, we just got like a kind of a group of vampires all mingling in one spot. So it was great that they gave everybody an opportunity to kind of, say hello to people and stuff. Then after that, there was, depending on the roads which you selected, which is like your the path, the road that you have taken to keep your beast in check, your morality. They all then separated and had their own meetings where you got to meet the rest of the people that were on the same path as you, or road, sorry. And then we were then allocating what positions within the council that we wanted to go for. And what we mean by this is they were divided by spy masters, quartermasters, generals and captains. The idea being is that the spy masters get hold of the information to do with what's going on and stuff like that. That then gets disseminated down to the generals, who then select what they believe the anarch movement should be doing. Then the captains put all of the resource together, e.g. selecting the people that are going to go on what Blood and Fire calls sorties, which is where you have like, in theory, we haven't had one yet, but we believe it's going to be like a tabletop encounter using the Larp rules, which is a very good way of handling mass combat and stuff like that. And then the quartermasters are then aware and can distribute the resources that is available to us, like herd and other items, which is how we as players will replenish our blood during the event. So that was all decided. For me, for Beast, it was really, really simplistic because we kind of got together and just went, none of us really want to be here. We've all got itchy feet and want to do other things. And everybody just said, look, I fancy doing this and I fancy doing that. And meeting kind of ended. It was really good. It was quite simple. Katie's on the other hand, who was Desire. How did your one go?
It was a bit mental. By proxy, they wanted to put a skull and a ferret forward and then take it in turns of voicing, as you do. We selected two councillors, and it was done in a hectic way. I'm amazed anyone knew who voted what because we just got told to point and everyone just went. So a very different meeting.
Yeah. So then after those meetings took place, everybody kind of mingled again, and then the council was called, and that was if you were one of the people that kind of got nominated forwards. So Kate was saying there was everybody pointing. It means that you wish to go, and your road stroke path has said yes, you can go forwards. That we accept you going forwards to that position. Those people then met up in a room, and then we were asked to divide ourselves into the four corners representing the four different positions. Now you could only have 5 people in each of those positions, so there should be 20 people in the room, but there was more than 20, which was done on purpose, of course. And then we had to then, I think there was more than 20. I'm pretty sure there was more. Or what ended up happening was more people went to certain groups. Like there were, in the Spy Masters, there were 7 of us. I believe in the Generals there was quite a few, and then quartermasters and captains only had 3 or 4 to start with, so it probably was just 20. But anyway, we then had conversations in those groups to try to put forward why you believed you would be good for that position. And then after that was decided, and everybody had appointed themselves or were appointed in those positions, we then broke off, went back into the main hall with everybody else and started to mingle. And then very soon after that, we were then called away into our groups where, for me as a spy master, we were then having to select candidates or from the candidates given to us, the, oh God, I want to say recce, but I think that's wrong. The person who's in charge or recording of boons at the event was a one position. And the other one, which is the constable, is there to enforce the Keeper of Elysium's kind of verdicts, stroke, keeping the Elysium, that kind of thing. So I had 3 candidates in front of me, and each one was then asked questions by the spy masters to kind of see which one we believe would be suitable in those positions. I thought that everybody's answers that were there were fantastic. There was some great role play. The lady that was playing the elder at the end, you definitely came across really strong in my eyes in regards to you scared the hell out of me. So it was good. It was really good. There were some really good, as I say, kind of like arguments for why they should be in those positions. And yeah, so it's very enjoyable. And then straight after that, we were then given some information to then disseminate as we saw fit to the generals or to anybody really, which was, I'm not going to go into that because I think that's going to be out of character, in character bleed, but we were given some information, and then as a group we decided what we were going to do with that. And then after that we did some more mingling. I think you spent most of your night mingling as well. And then I think we then decided that we were going to try and spy on some of the other meetings, because
use our powers wandering around.
yeah. So basically, we just had a nosy at what everybody was doing. So we looked in at what the quartermasters were up to. We couldn't get in to listen to the captains, but we found out that because the windows were open outside, we were able to sneak around the back and listen to their conversation anyway. Sorry, captains, but we had to know what you were talking about. We missed the general meeting, and then we just mingled. There are some fantastic costumes that we've seen here, like incredible. Considering this is a lot of people's first event for this system, well, it is the first event for everybody for this system, so the quality of what's being presented is really high, especially wow, like what the hell was the gargoyle. I've seen gargoyles at LARPs before, especially in Vampire LARPs. Hands down, best gargoyle I've ever seen. That was outstanding.
It's like a character out of the TV show.
Yeah. And then there is a Nosferatu who's got a load of fake teeth. The first time I saw that was quite cool. And then just the general standard of everybody's costumes, considering the time period it's set in, have been just incredible. I don't feel I've been in any way jarred out of thinking that this is not set in the 1400s, if you see what I mean. It is.
The venue itself helps as well.
The venue is gorgeous. Like, we were surprised. We thought we knew what venue we were going to, so we thought we knew what to expect. So when we walked in here, we were blown away. This place is gorgeous. You'll see in the videos, there's just beautiful, very atmospheric. And they are very, I'm trying to think of the word for this. Considerate is the wrong word, but it is along those lines. Basically, they've tried to cater for everybody, meaning that nobody is ever excluded from the game at any point. So all of the rooms are accessible by everybody. It's that kind of stuff has been across the whole of this so far, if you see what I mean. It's a very accessible game. Inclusive, yeah. So that was really good. I forgot to say we did have before we started the game, there was a safety brief that went into first aiders, where to go in case of a fire alarm, stuff like that. It's really nice to see that because this is the kind of stuff that we like to see when we go to these events, that the actual people that are organising it take our safety, to heart. So it's good.
It's the first time I've seen that you get a phrase so it doesn't break people's role play if you need to leave the situation as well. So
I think it was, I'm just going to go out and get some night air. It's the safe word or safe sentence that's given to the players, which means if you say that, you can step away from a conversation, go out of character and excuse yourself. But it's done in a way which everybody around you will understand that you need to take a break at this point, or you need to walk away, and so won't try to hound you down or shout after you or something like that, if you see what I mean. So that's really good at that safe word. I think I've seen it once before, which was, it wasn't Inquisitor Eisenhorn, but it was along those lines. In our group, we had a safe word, which was like, I'm late for that meeting with Inquisitor, whoever it was. And then you would leave, and then the other people, that if you had another member of your group or our group that was there, they would turn around and say, oh yeah, of course, that important meeting, and they would just carry on the role play. So it's nice to see that they've got that here as well. So yeah.
And the distinction of what's acceptable in a game of topics as well. I haven't seen that personally. Yeah.
So they talked around, and there was things like rape, abortion, there was a few others. Non-consensual sex, that kind of stuff. That was all kind of like, this isn't part of our game. They've even said that one of the wars that is currently taking place in this time period, because it is so similar to what's currently happening in the world, that that doesn't exist in the game at this point either, to try to prevent those kind of conversations taking place. So that's really good that the organisers are looking into that as well. So yeah, and I've got to admit, as I say, it was hectic today. It's definitely been hectic tonight. We haven't had the opportunity to kind of sit and schmooze, is the way to put it. Just generally just
lounge
about and talk shit with people in character. We haven't had a chance to do it because it's been so manic to try and get everything done. But we can understand why, because we need to fill those positions, because those positions are there to facilitate how the game will roll through. So it's understandable why it was so manic tonight for the first night. Hopefully tomorrow night it'll be a little bit less cray-cray.
A few less meetings.
Yeah, there's a lot of meetings tonight, a lot of meetings. But yeah, very enjoyable so far. So we'll do another one of these diaries tomorrow night to let you know how tomorrow went. And then of course we'll wrap it all up when we get back home and give you a deep dive into our impressions of the event. But so far, it's been really good fun, and we highly recommend so far. Cool. Cheers. Yeah.
Hi everyone. So this is us on the second day of the event. So it's been less hectic than last night. I would say a little bit more fun as well. So this morning when we woke up, it was a really relaxed start to the day because time then wasn't until 11. So we got to wake up, have some breakfast, explore the castle. When I say castle grounds, the abbey grounds. And then after that we literally did some sunbathing, which is really nice. Got in a costume, got down, game started, and because all the positions and everything was sorted yesterday, and people were like getting used to the new skins we're kind of in, because probably for a lot of us it's the first time we've been LARPing since COVID. So yeah, it was nice. The day's been very relaxed in regards to what's been going on. We got to experience something very unique to this system, which the ref teams have created, which is the sortie. And I have to say, I've been blown away by how kind of inclusive and engaging that was. My sortie and Katie's sortie were very different, and both of us got to basically get involved and have ideas and implement them, and it was really, really good. So I'm not going to talk about my one, but if Katie, if you want to talk through a little bit about yours.
Yeah, my group had to rescue a group of slaves, and cutting the long story short, we got them out, and I came away with possibly a pack of dogs for my taking. It was successful with a lot of problems, but it was like a D&D setting. You sat around and it's like, this is the situation, what do you do?
And I take it, did they do what they did with my one, where they kind of went around the group in regards to everybody had like a turn?
Yeah, there was like an order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for my one, what they were doing is, after you've done something, let's say my character does X, you would then point to somebody else in the sortie and say, and then handing them over to them to have their go, if you see what I mean. So it wasn't like we went round in a circle on ours. We were pointing out who we think could go next and what they could do. So yeah, it's really good. It was very rules light, which is good, but it was rules light enough. It wasn't too rules light, which meant that you feel like your character wasn't having any impact in the situation. It was just rules light that meant your character, the complete opposite, your character felt like it had a really big impact in what was going on. So that's really good, and really can't praise the ref teams enough for how they ran it, and also the kind of introduction into the sortie and out of the sortie was very atmospheric and very cool. And outside of that, we've been doing lots of spy master kind of stuff, and working out how to position ourselves in each of the different councils so that we could be most efficient, was something that has massively made the spy masters more enjoy their time here, because we feel like we're actually doing what we need to do, which is help deliver that kind of information that we found out and stuff. So far so good. We're going to check in again tonight after it comes to an end, and then do another one of these. But this is the kind of midway through the day now, so we're coming up to 6 o'clock. The game is going to time out at 12, so the kind of halfway mark we're at now. So we'll see you guys in a minute. Bye.
Everybody, this is going to be a quick summary of the last night of Blood and Fire, or the last day. So earlier on, we were talking about what we did up to about 6 o'clock, and then after that, taking us all the way up to the end of the event. We can safely say we are both absolutely shattered, and so I've had to bail out a little bit early. So we have missed the very end of the event, so I do apologise I can't kind of tell you about that, but up until that point, other than us being new parents and stuff, so this whole sleeping thing has been weird, but yeah, it's been great event. We've got to role play with some fantastic people. We've had some genuinely good laughs as well, like for example earlier on this evening we were just sitting down catching some night air, trying to cool down a bit because of our masks, and we had an incredible funny encounter talking about Zamitzi Slactors, and an individual who was fighting one who had his arm ripped off and then was fighting it with his sword, and disemboweled it and stuff, and was then saying about the game they actually play between them is try and find the heart. you know, and then there was other chats about some other stories to do with wives and stuff. It was a very entertaining, I'd say 15-20 minutes of that.
Encounter band.
Yeah, it's very cool. And then of course we had a really good discussion regarding there was a can't say
Diablerous.
it. Thank you. But the actual event itself, Diablerie. The thing where you eat another vampire's soul by sucking all their blood until they're dead. Right, that. So after one of the sorties we did earlier on in the day, that took place afterwards, where they brought the torpid individual back and then devoured their soul. There was a bit of conflict at the time due to the paths and roads kind of clashing over how that was handled. Some disagreed with the fact that it had taken place or was happening, and others were like, no, it's our right to do so. Anyway, after this, I caught up with the individual later on in the evening to chat through about the Diablerie, and I said it right that time. It was an amazing role play, because for me, I'm still learning all these paths and stuff, and it was very interesting, the interpretation and why they did what they did and how they can feel justification for it. And it was nice to see a difference between 3 separate paths all talking about it, because we had Path of Desire, Path of the Beast, and Path of Blood, I believe they are on, and that's why they were happy with the Diablerie. In the end, it came to the individual was not worthy of their blood, and that is why they could justify what they were doing. And anyway, but as I say, it was a fantastic conversation, and something that kind of highlights the fact that the Blood and Fire, what they've done with those paths and roads, is very interesting. Normally at kind of a Camarilla game, you're only really encountering Path of Humanity, and anybody not on that path is an outcast, outsider, straight, shouldn't really be in the Camarilla. So where this is an Anarch game, it's the first time I've personally been able to really explore all of the different paths and stuff that are inside, in the game. And it's been very interesting to kind of talk about those and learn about them. Because for me, that was a very new thing. So, yeah, that was a fantastic conversation. What else was there?
You mentioned the sorties, didn't you?
Yeah, we've talked about the sorties, which is very good. We've also had, of course, leading on from the morning, when it came to the sorties, arranging them and stuff like that, it was a great bit of role play that I had with an individual who was trying to find out about their sister, who was murdered by one of her children, and we believe there was a kind of investigation took around that with the spy masters and stuff to help the individual out to find out why they did what they did. Although we can never give the answer of why, we could help to elaborate on the status of the domain at the time, why they may have put a bar on creating childer, that kind of stuff. Anyway, it was a really good bit of role play. It was very interesting. The ref team was very good as well in regards to quick fire. Could you do this? Could we find this out by using this and this and this? So can really, and once again, when I went to the ref team, just gave me the time to go, yep, we can answer that, we can do that, etc. So that was something that I actually thought was quite good. They've got quite a small ref team at the event, but even with a small ref team and NPC crew, they were able to, every time I've approached them with a question, straight away, yep, got the time to do that, here you go, bum, 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 and went through it. So I can't, I tip my hat to them in that regard, because there's a lot going on, and when you have a small crew, keeping on top of that and all of the player questions that are coming at you, the fact that I never felt at any point that I was waiting around for hours to get some attention from a ref is, as I say, take my hat off. Good job on that one. But yeah, so that was an interesting bit of role play that came out of it as well. Which is nice as well, just chatting to people. I think where the event, I'm not saying it was winding down, but where now, as the events progress, people have become more comfortable in the role play and getting back into it.
And getting to know each other, because there's a lot of, not everyone knows each other, and we certainly don't know anyone.
I wanted to say, this is probably the first LARP I've ever been to where I think I recognise and have spoken to one of the people here before. Outside of that, everybody's face was new. Now at the start, it was very uncomfortable because you don't have those familiar faces and go, oh, you know, and have that chat with. So it was nice to see a Larp for the first time from the other side of the fence. And it's been interesting how those relationships have developed over the game. Like, we've had a series of conversations with people, like whilst we're eating breakfast or having a drink or chilling outside, getting some fresh air or something. And those conversations, that kind of out of character chat, have then meant that in character, I then felt more comfortable approaching and role playing. And because of that, you then start to, I don't know, network in a way that you then, because you're role playing with this person over here, there's another two people sat at a table, which means later on, when you're outside having a chill again, you can then have a conversation with them and it could be more comfortable. It was something that I've never considered before, but it was something that I was very interested to see happen. And I can safely say that turning up to a Larp and not knowing anybody, you can get to know people very quickly and easily. I mean, it's been a 2-day event, and already
You've already swapped Facebook details.
Yeah. So it's really good. And as I say, the player base here has been absolutely awesome. Some really, really nice people, very friendly. The ref team's been awesome. The event's been awesome. We've thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. We can safely say the accommodation here was very comfortable. The showers have been nice, toilets have been nice, beds have been nice.
We haven't really heard anything from anyone, and LARPers are notoriously loud, especially after a few drinks.
Exactly. Like we had a really good night's sleep last night. You wouldn't know it because we're absolutely shattered now, but it was a really nice night. So once again, I mean, definitely give Blood and Fire a shot. It's a really, really good system. As I say, we've thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. And so hopefully you can see from the pictures and the footage that's been taken. I apologise, there is not a load of video footage of us walking around the event filming, but as some of you may know, doing video footage at a LARP event is something that is not an easy thing to do unless it is really well organised.
Especially as there's people present that have said that they can't be seen on any of the videos, which would make it quite hard.
It's easy to, it's easy. A photo, you can snap a moment and it can tell a huge story, but when you film, it's very easy for that footage to be lost with what's going on, and also very intrusive on people's role play. So that's why there's not a lot of footage in the game, but we hopefully, by doing these diaries and then adding in all these pictures and stuff like that, you guys can get a really good feel of what Blood and Fire was like. And yeah, so we've put the details of how you can get in contact with Blood and Fire in the description below. If you've got any questions regarding the event, please field them towards the ref team there. But if you wish to ask me any questions at all, please pop them in the comments. I'll do what I can to answer them, and if I can't, I'll try to direct them over to the ref team for Blood and Fire. But thanks everybody for watching the video. I love you all, and hopefully I'll get to LARP with you all soon. Okay.